Hi students and friends, welcome to the channel Learn and Teach by Ayaz. In this video, I'm going to talk about CAIE 5070 past papers, and this time I have selected the paper May-June 2022 and the version is 11. I'm not going to read the instructions as you all are clear about the instructions. This is the paper number 11. It's May-June 2022. It's multiple choice paper. Number 1. The scientist needs to add approximately 100 centimeter cube of water to each of 50 large beakers. The scientist needs to fill the beakers as quickly as possible. Which method should be used? So, scientist is adding approximate volume of water to each of 50 large beakers. So, he must be using measuring cylinder. So the correct answer for this question must be D. Number 2, 4 mixtures, each containing 2 substances, are shown in the table. The 2 substances need to be separated and collected. Which row is correct? A. Copper 2 sulfate and water. Separation method, chromatography. You can't use chromatography method for separating copper 2 sulfate and the mixture of copper 2 sulfate in water, because chromatography is used to separate and identify color substances as well as colorless substances like amino acids. B. Methanol plus ethanol. Methanol and ethanol are miscible liquids, so you can't use evaporation. So both A and B are incorrect. C. Oxygen and nitrogen. Both oxygen and nitrogen are present in air. Separation method for these two will be used after liquefaction, will be fraction distillation. So C will be the right answer for this question. For your convenience, I am reading the last statement also. If you have a mixture containing sand and barium sulfate, you can't use separation method filtration because barium sulfate and sand both are insoluble in water. Number 3. 2 samples of a colorless solution are tested separately with aqueous sodium hydroxide, NaOH, and aqueous ammonia, NH3, and the results are recorded. A white precipitate is formed with 2 drops of NaOH aqueous. This precipitate dissolves in an excess of NaOH aqueous. A white precipitate is formed when 2 drops of NH3 aqueous. This precipitate dissolves in excess of NH3 aqueous. What can be deduced from these results? We know that only Zn2 plus ion is soluble in both NaOH and aqueous ammonia. So D will be the right answer for this question. Number 4. Which row correctly describes changes in the particles when a substance freezes? When substance freezes, it means the state is changing into solid. The arrangement of the particles will be ordered one. So either A is correct or B is correct. Both C and D are incorrect. What about the energy change? Particle lose energy when it changes or when the state freezes, the particles will lose energy. So B will be the right answer for B. Number 5. Ethyl amine gas C2H4NH2 and hydrogen chloride gas HCl react together to form a white solid, ethylamine hydrochloride. At which position in the tube would a ring of solid white ethylamine hydrochloride form? This is very easy. What you have to do, find the MR of C2H5NH2 and HCl. C2H5NH2. You know the AR of carbon is 12, so we have two carbon atoms, so 2 will multiply by 12 gives 24. We have 7 hydrogen atoms, and we know the AR of hydrogen is 1, so 7 multiplied by 1 will be 7. AR of nitrogen is 14, so I will write 14 here. If you will add up these, we'll get 45 as MR of C2H5NH2. What about HCl? AR of hydrogen is 1 and chlorine is 35.5. So we'll get 36.5. So hydrogen chloride will travel faster than ethylamine. So definitely A will be the answer for this one. Both will meet at point A to form a white solid. 6. Two particles have the symbols. This is Fe2 plus and CO3 plus. Which statement about these particles is correct? A. They contain the same number of electrons. So Fe is carrying +2 charge. It means it has lost 2 electrons. The proton number of Fe is given, which is 26. So subtract 2 from 26, we get 24. This will be the number of electrons for Fe plus 2. What about CO plus 3? Proton number of CO is given, that is 27. The charge of CO is +3, which means it has lost 3 electrons. So 27 minus 3 will be 24. So both have same number of electrons. So statement A must be right one. For your convenience, I am reading the other statements. They contain the same number of neutrons. If you look at the nucleon number of both of these, nucleon numbers are different and proton number is also different. So if you subtract proton number from nucleon number, you won't get same number of neutrons. So this is wrong. C. They contain the same number of protons. Both have different number of protons. As you all know, proton number is the entity of the element. Proton number changes, element changes. So you can't have same number of protons. D. They do not contain the same number of protons, neutrons, or electrons. This is wrong because they have same number of electrons. 7. Two isotopes of chlorine are Cl35 and Cl37. Using these isotopes and C12 and H1, how many different relative molecular masses are possible for the compound with molecular formula C2H3Cl3? So we have 3 Cl atoms attached with C2H3. So what are the possibility? The possibility will be these. We have Cl35, Cl35, Cl37, or we have Cl37, Cl37, Cl35. Third possibility will be chlorine. All chlorine will be of Cl35. Fourth possibility will be all chlorine will be of Cl37. So we have C as a right answer for this question. Number 8. Which statement about the substances at room temperature and pressure is correct? We have W, X, Y, and Z. A. W and X conduct electricity. W is an alloy and X is an ionic compound. So W will conduct electricity at room temperature and pressure, but X would not conduct electricity at room temperature and pressure. So this is wrong statement. B. W and Y are elements. W is an alloy, Y is diamond. So diamond is allotropic form of carbon. So it is an element, but W is not an element. So this is wrong. C. X and Z dissolves in water. X is ionic compound. What is Z? Z is ethanol. Both ionic compound and ethanol are soluble in water. So C will be the right statement. For your convenience, I am reading the last statement. D. Y and Z have low melting points. Y's diamond must have high melting point. Z has low melting point. This is correct, but Y does not have low melting point. So this is wrong. Number 9. A piece of magnesium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. The resulting solution is then evaporated, leaving a solid residue of magnesium chloride. Which statement is correct? A. A covalent solid is formed in this process. For your convenience, I am writing the reaction. This is a reaction between magnesium and hydrochloric acid. We get magnesium chloride plus H2 gas. I am balancing the equation also. So we have covalent solid now. This is ionic solid. This is not covalent solid. MgCl2 is ionic solid. So A is incorrect. B. Each chlorine atom gains 1 electron in this process. You see the charge on chlorine will not change in this process. On both sides of the equation, it's carrying -1 charge. So it has not gained electron in this process. C. Each magnesium atom loses only 1 electron in this process. Magnesium atom loses 2 electrons in this process. As you look at the formula of magnesium chloride, it is MgCl2, which means magnesium has lost 2 electrons. So this is also wrong. Only D will be the correct answer. I'm reading the statement. Molecules of an element are formed during the reaction. Yes, we have molecule of the element, that is hydrogen gas. This is molecule of element. Number 10. Which dot and cross diagram represents carbon dioxide? Only outer shell electrons are shown. If you look at the position of carbon, carbon belongs to group 4. So the valency of carbon will be ±4. And oxygen belongs to group 6. The valency of oxygen will be -2. So if we predict the formula between these two, what we will get? We will get C plus -4, ignoring their charges. So we have 4 and 2. Simplifying these numbers, we'll get 2, 1. These subscripts will be exchanged and we get CO2. So there must be 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms. So all the diagrams are showing 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms. What about the sharing of electrons between these two? Carbon contains 4 electrons in its valence shell, while each oxygen atom contains 2 electrons in their valence shell. So carbon atom will share 2 of its valence electron with each oxygen atoms, while each oxygen atom will be sharing 2 of their valence electrons with carbon atom. So C will be the right answer in this case. 11. Two statements about the structure and properties of metals are given. Statement 1, metals are malleable and have high melting point. Statement 2, metals have mobile electrons in their structure. What is correct? A, both statements are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statements are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. So A is wrong. B, both statements are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. This is right. For your convenience, I am reading the other statements also. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. This is wrong because both statements are correct. Number D, statement 2 is correct, but statement 1 is incorrect. This is also wrong. 12. How many different elements are present in ammonium nitrate? The formula of ammonium nitrate will be NH4, NO3, PF nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. So we have 3 different elements present in ammonium nitrate. Number 13, aqueous calcium hydroxide is an alkali. It is neutralized by dilute nitric acid to produce calcium nitrate and water. What is the ionic equation for this reaction? For titration reactions, the ionic equation will be H plus OH minus gives H2O. So the only right answer here will be D. Other choices are incorrect. 14. The relative molecular mass MR of liquid Z is 60. Z contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen, and 53.3% oxygen. Which row shows the correct empirical and molecular formula of Z? In order to find the empirical formula, we need to divide the percentage by the AR of each element. CF, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The percentage of carbon is 40. We'll divide 40 by 12 for carbon atom. What about hydrogen? 6.70%. AR of hydrogen is 1. So we will divide 6.70 by 1. Oxygen, 53.3%. What about the AR of oxygen? It is 16. So we will divide 53.3 by 16. 40 divided by 12, 3.333. For hydrogen, we get the same answer because we will divide any number by 1, we will get the same answer. What about oxygen? 53.3 divided by 16, 3.3315. So 3.3315 will be the smallest number here. So we'll divide all the numbers by 3.3315. Carbon will get 1, hydrogen will get 2, oxygen will get 1. So the empirical formula will be CH2O. So either A is correct or B is correct. C and D is incorrect. What about the molecular formula? In order to find the molecular formula, we will divide the molecular mass, which is 60 here, by the empirical mass. So empirical mass for CH2 will be 1 carbon atom means 12, 2 hydrogen atom means 2, 1 oxygen atom means 16. So you'll add up these values, you will get 30. So we'll get N by dividing the molecular mass by 30. 60 divided by 30, we'll get 2. So multiply 2 by CH2. So we'll get C2H4O2. So B will be the right answer for this question. Number 15, how many tons of aluminum oxide Al2O3 are required to produce 27 tons of aluminum? I'm writing the equation. Al2O3 gives Al plus O2. So if you balance the equation, we'll get 2Al2O3 gives 4Al plus 3O2. I need to find the tons of aluminum oxide X from 27 tons of aluminum. We have 2 moles of Al2O3. So let's calculate the MR of Al2O3, and this will be expressed in tons. AR of aluminum will be 27, and for oxygen, it's 16. So 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 4 multiplied by 27. 108. For oxygen, 2 multiplied by 3 will be 6. And we will multiply 6 atoms of oxygen by the AR of oxygen, that is 16. We will get 96. So add 96 in 108. 204. So 204 of Al2O3 gives how many Al? 4 multiplied by 27 is 108. 2 cross, you will get 108x is equal to 27 multiplied by 204, or x is equal to 27 multiplied by 204 divided by 108. 27 multiplied by 204 divided by 108, 51. So B will be the right answer for question number 15. 16. Lead-2 bromide is electrolyzed using inert electrodes. Which statement is correct? A. A brown gas is seen at the positive electrode. Positive electrode is anode, and at anode, bromine gas will be produced, and bromine gas is brown in color. A will be the right answer. For your convenience, I am reading other statements. P. Electrons pass through the solution from one electrode to other. No. Ions pass, not electrons. So B is wrong. C. Ions pass through the circuit from one electrode to the other. No. It's electrons that passes from one electrode to other through the circuit. So this is also wrong. D. The lead-2 ions are oxidized. This is also wrong because lead-2 ions are reduced. So only A will be the right answer. 17. Compound X is sodium iodide NaI. Compound Y is methyl methanoate HCO2 CH3. At room temperature and pressure, one solid in aqueous solution to electricity. Which words correctly complete gaps 1 and 2? At room temperature and pressure, sodium iodide NaI is solid. So I will write X here. In aqueous solution, X conducts electricity. So we have only D as the right answer here. 18. For the forward reaction of a reversible reaction, the enthalpy change of a reaction delta H is minus 50 kilojoule per mole, and the activation energy EA is plus 60 kilojoule per mole. What is the activation energy of the reverse reaction? So forward reaction, the enthalpy change for forward reaction will be this, and we have enthalpy change given, that is delta H is minus 50. What about activation energy? It's also given. EA, it is plus 60. The reverse of this reaction is endothermic. So the energy profile diagram will be like this. Product will be at high energy state. This time the activation energy will be this, and the enthalpy change will be this. You see, in second diagram, we'll get the enthalpy change by adding the EA and delta H. EA plus delta H. And EA is given, it's 60. And as it is endothermic reaction, so delta H will be plus 50. So we'll add 60 in 50. So we'll get 110 kilojoule per mole. So D will be the right answer for this question. 19. The diagram shows a titration experiment. We are adding dilute acid from butyrate, and we are adding dilute acid to aqueous alkali in the conical flask. Which row about the reaction in the conical flask is correct? The reaction is exothermic. So either C is correct or D is correct. The value of delta H is negative. So C will be the right answer for this question. Number 20. Sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen in the air. 2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3. Delta H is negative. The reaction is very slow if no catalyst is present. Which statement explains this? So we are talking about uh, in relation to the presence or absence of catalyst for this reaction. A, air contains only 21% oxygen, so there is not enough oxygen for all the sulfur dioxide to react. This is wrong. It has nothing to do with the presence of oxygen here, because the information does not suggest this. B, only a small proportion of the sulfur dioxide and oxygen molecules have enough energy to react even at high temperature. Yes, only small portion, even at high temperature. The reason is that if you add the catalyst, it will decrease the activation energy for this reaction. So there will be large proportion of sulfur dioxide and oxygen molecules reacting together. So B will be the right answer. For your convenience, I am reading the statement C and D also. C, the reaction is exothermic, and so at high temperature, the equilibrium shifts to the left side. It's they are talking about the shifting of the equilibrium. It has nothing to do with the absence or presence of catalyst. So C is wrong. The reaction is reversible, and so products turn back to reactants. This happens more quickly at high temperatures. The equilibrium will shift to the reactant side. It does not happen more quickly at high temperature, because high temperature means we are increasing the rate of the reaction. So B will be the right answer for this question. Question number 21. Which statement is correct? A, an enzyme is a biological catalyst that decreases the activation energy of a reaction. This is the correct statement. So I will circle the statement. For your convenience, I am reading the other statement. B, an enzyme is a biological catalyst that increases the activation energy of a reaction. Wrong. Enzyme decreases the activation energy of a reaction. C, an enzyme is a compound of a transition element that decreases the activation energy of a reaction. It's not necessary that it's a compound. It might be transition element. So this is also wrong. D, an enzyme is a compound of a transition element that increases the activation energy of a reaction. This is also wrong. 22. Nitrogen dioxide NO2 is a dark brown gas that decomposes as shown in the equation. NO2 gas gives 2NO gas plus O2 gas. The diagram shows a glass flask containing a mixture of the three gases. The mixture is pale brown. More oxygen is forced into the flask. This reaction reaches to equilibrium state. So if we force more oxygen into the flask, what will happen? The equilibrium shift towards the reactant side, or the jar will turn more brown. So which color change is seen in the mixture? A, it becomes a darker brown. This looks correct statement to me. B, it becomes a paler brown. No, because we have more NO2, so it will turn darker brown. C, it turns colorless. This is again wrong. D, there is no change. This is also wrong. 23. Concentrated hydrochloric acid is oxidized by manganate 4 oxide MnO2. What are two products of this reaction? During the oxidation by manganese 4 oxide, Mn4 changes into Mn plus 2. We know that. And also, during its reaction with hydrochloric acid, it oxidizes chloride ion into chlorine gas. So choice A is wrong, because in this Mn2 plus and Cl negative is produced. Choice B is Mn2 plus and Cl2, and this looks correct to me. For your convenience, I am reading the other statements also. Mn6 plus and Cl negative, this is again wrong. D, Mn6 plus and Cl2, this is also wrong. 24. The table gives some information about 4 redox reactions. Which row gives correct information about what is oxidized and the evidence that this is oxidation? Equation A, CuO plus C gives CO plus Cu. What is oxidized in this reaction? In the reaction, C is oxidized in this reaction, and they've written copper. So this is wrong. B, Na plus half Cl2 gives NaCl. What is oxidized in the reaction? Sodium. This is correct. Sodium is oxidized because on the reactant side, the charge on Na is 0, and on the product side, it will changes to +1. Evidence for this oxidation: sodium has lost an electron. This is also correct. So B will be the right statement for this question. For your convenience, I am reading the other equations also. C, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. What is oxidized in this reaction? Nitrogen? No, this is wrong. Nitrogen is not oxidized because if you look at the reactant side, the charge on nitrogen is 0. On the product side, it's more electronegative than hydrogen, so it will acquire -3 charge. So it is reduced, not oxidized. So this is also wrong. C, ZnNO3 plus Mg gives MgNO3 whole twice plus Zn. What is oxidized in this reaction? Zinc. Wrong, because on the reactant side, zinc is carrying +2 charge. On the product side, it will carry minus charge, which means it is reduced, not oxidized. So this is also wrong. 25. Which statement about acids and bases is correct? A, all strong acids react with carbonates, but all weak acids do not. This is not true because all the acids react with carbonates, whether it's strong or weak. B, the oxides of group 1 metals are amphoteric. This is also wrong because the oxides of group 1 metals are basic, not amphoteric. C, the pH of 1 mole per dm cube ethanoic acid CH3COH is higher than the pH of 1 mole per dm cube sulfuric acid H2SO4. Sulfuric acid is a strong acid, while ethanoic acid is a weak acid. Weaker the acid, higher will be the pH. Stronger acid will have lower pH than weaker acids. So C looks correct to me. For your convenience, I am reading the last statement also. D, the pH of 1 mole per dm cube nitric acid HNO3 is lower than the pH of 1 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid. This is wrong. The reason is that both are strong acids, so both have lower pH. 26. Some types of chemical reaction are listed. 1, acid base. 2, combustion. 3, redox. Which types of reaction occur in a blast furnace during the extraction of iron? All these 3 reactions are taking place in blast furnace during the extraction of iron. So choice A will be the right answer. 27. Which method should be used to make a pure sample of potassium chloride? In A, we are adding AgCl to KNO3. We know that all chlorides are soluble except LMS. L means lead, M means mercury, S means silver. So the chloride of silver is insoluble. So you can't add insoluble silver chloride to potassium nitrate to make potassium chloride. So this is wrong. B, adding excess K2CO3 to HCl aqueous. K2CO3 is solid, so we need concentrated acid. So this is also incorrect. C, mixing KNO3 aqueous plus NaCl aqueous. Both are salts of highly reactive metals. Potassium and sodium are among highly reactive metals. So this reaction can't take place. Only D will be the right answer for this question. We have to titrate KOH aqueous plus HCl aqueous. 28. A pure sample of lead sulfate is made by reacting aqueous solutions of 2 salts. The lead sulfate formed is then separated from the mixture. Which solutions and method of separation are used? We are making lead sulfate by reacting aqueous solution of two salts. And we know that lead sulfate is insoluble, so it will be left as a residue. So if you react lead chloride plus sodium sulfate, so this method is incorrect. The reason is that lead chloride is insoluble. So both choice A and B are incorrect. Choice C and D are correct. For choice C, lead nitrate is mixed with potassium sulfate to get lead sulfate and potassium nitrate, and the method of separation will be filtration. Crystallization is written, so this is also wrong. D will be the right answer in this case because the method of separation is filtration. 29. Which statement is correct? A. Food can be preserved by using sulfur dioxide. This is correct. B. In the contact process, oxygen reacts with sulfur to make sulfur trioxide. This is wrong because oxygen reacts with sulfur to produce sulfur dioxide, not sulfur trioxide. C. Sulfur dioxide is used to kill bacteria present in wood pulp. No, it's not used to kill bacteria. D. Sulfuric acid is used as a bleach. This is also wrong. 30. Element Y is in period 3 of the periodic table. It forms a chloride that is a liquid at room temperature. Which row shows correct information about the group number and the nature of the oxide of element Y? Now they are saying element Y is in period 3 of the periodic table and it's forming an oxide which is a liquid at room temperature. If the chloride exists in liquid state at room temperature pressure, then it means it must be covalent. Covalent compound. Chloride must be covalent. So chloride must be covalent and it must be acidic. The nature of the oxide of element Y must be acidic. Oxide of Y must be acidic. So A is wrong. B is metals. So you can't make acidic oxide. So this is also wrong. C, number 4, group number 4. Nature of the oxide is amphoteric. This is also wrong. D is the only choice which looks correct to me because in this showing group 6 and the nature of oxide is acidic. So D will be the right answer for this one. 31. Which gases are used in light bulbs? 1. Argon. 2. Oxygen. Wrong. 3. Neon. So 1 and 3 is correct. So C will be the right answer. Because both of these, argon, neon, are inert gases. Provide inert atmosphere. (32) The carbonates of metals W, X, and Y are heated, and the results are shown. W, the color of a metal carbonate for W is white, and the gas given off by the carbonate of W turns lime water cloudy, and the color of the compound after heating yellow when hot, white when cold. X, the color of metal carbonate is green, and the gas given off turns lime water milky. Yes, color of the compound or element after heating is black. Y, the color of metal carbonate is white, gas given off which turns lime water cloudy. No gas is produced here. Color after heating, no change. These experimental results can be used to write statements about W, X, and Y. 1. The carbonates of W and X gave off carbon dioxide on heating. We know that carbon dioxide is a gas which turns lime water milky. So this is the right statement. 2. Metals X and Y are less reactive than metal W. This is wrong because the carbonate of Y does not decompose. So Y will be the one of the highly reactive metals from these. So this is wrong. 3. X could be copper. Yes, X could be copper because the color of the carbonate is green. So 1 and 3 is the right statement. C will be the right answer for this question. 33. The diagram shows an experiment to determine the percentage of oxygen in air. We have bell jar, lit candle, water. Which diagram shows the correct level of water after the candle stops burning? You know the percentage of oxygen in air is 19 to 21%. So the level of the water will increase by 19 to 21%, which means that C will be the right answer for this question. 34. Two statements are given. Statement 1. The percentage of carbon by mass is greater in methane than in butane. MR of methane is 12 plus 4, 16. So if you will find the percentage of carbon in methane, so 12 multiplied by 100 divided by 16. 75%. MR of butane. The formula of butane is C4H10. We have 4 carbon atoms, so 4 multiplied by 12. 12 is the AR of carbon. We'll get 48. 48 plus 10, 58. So 58 will be the MR of butane. In order to get the percentage of carbon, we will multiply 48 by 100 and divided by 58. The percentage will be 48, 100 divided by 58, 82.7, which means this statement is wrong. Statement 2, butane is one of the 2 isomers with the molecular formula C4H10. Yes, this is correct. Which statements are correct? Only statement number 2 is correct. So C will be the right answer. 35. 1 mole of each of the compounds shown is completely combusted. C5H12O, C6H12, C6H14, C6H14O. How many of the compounds need exactly 9 moles of oxygen for complete combustion? I am writing the combustion reaction for each of these. For C5H12O, when you react it with oxygen in complete combustion, we will get carbon dioxide, CO2 plus H2O. Now let's balance the equation. We have 5 moles of carbon dioxide and 6 moles of water. So in order to balance the oxygen, let's count the number of atoms of oxygen on the product or right hand side. We have 5 to the 10 plus 6. So we have 16 oxygen. And we have already 1 oxygen attached with C5H12. So we need 15 oxygen. So we'll have 15 divided by 15 divided by 2. So this is wrong. This can't be needing 9 moles of oxygen. What about C6H12? C6H12 plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. Let's balance the equation. We have 6 CO2. What about hydrogen? 6 H2O. 6 to the 12. 12 plus 6, 18. We need 18 atoms of oxygen on the reactant side. So I have to write 9 before O2. So C6H12 will be one of the compound needing 9 moles of oxygen. What about C6H14? C6H14 plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. Carbon, the number of moles of carbon dioxide will be 6. What about water? We have 7 moles of water. Now add up the number of atoms of oxygen on the product side. 6 to the 12 and 12 plus 7, 19. So we need 19 atoms of oxygen. So we have 19 divided by 2. Or even you can write 9.5 O2. So this can't be one of the compound leading 9 moles of oxygen. We are left with C6H14O. C6H14O plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. The number of moles of carbon dioxide will be 6 and water will be 7H2O. For number of atoms on the right hand side of the product side will be 6 multiplied by 2, 12 plus 7 gives 19. So in this we need 9 moles of O2 because O is already attached with C6H14. So this also needs 9 moles of oxygen. So answer B will be the right one for this question. Now 36, the reactants and products of 2 reactions are shown. Reaction 1, C3H6 plus H2O gives X. Reaction 2, X plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. Which row correctly describes these 2 reactions? Identity of compound X. Compound X must be alcohol. And we have 3 carbon atoms. So we'll get C3H7OH. This is propanol. So either C is correct or D is correct. A and B is incorrect. What about the condition for reaction 1? It needs heat and catalyst. What about reaction 2? Reaction 2 is combustion reaction. It's not decomposition. So choice D will be the right answer for this question. 37. Which statement about carboxylic acid is correct? A. All carboxylic acid include the group COH. This is right. This is the only right statement. I am reading the other statements for your convenience. B. Ethanoic acid reacts with both copper 2 oxide and copper. This is wrong because copper is among less reactive metals. C. Methanoic acid formed by bacterial oxidation present in vinegar. So methanoic acid is not formed by bacterial oxidation. Instead, it's ethanoic acid. So this is also wrong. D. Propanoic acid decolorizes acidified potassium magnate 7. Propanoic acid does not decolorize acidified potassium magnate. Instead, it's propanol, which decolorizes potassium magnate. So this is also wrong. 38. The structure of an ester is shown. This is the structure of an ester. What is the name of this ester? This is alkyl group. This is alkanoid group. We have 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3. So it must be propyl. So either C is correct or D is correct. Both A and B is wrong. What about the alkanoate ion? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It must be butanoate. Propyl butanoate. The ester is propyl butanoate. So C will be the right answer for this question. 39. Polyethylene is formed by dash polymerization of ethene. One must be addition. The formation of nylon and terylene are examples of condensation polymerization because both involve the release of a simple molecule like water. Proteins contain the same amide linkage as nylon. So you write amide here. Fats contain the same dash linkage as terylene.
So it must be ester linkage. On hydrolysis, proteins form amino acids. So if you look at all the choices, only choice A will be the correct one for this question. 40. The repeat unit of a polymer is shown. This is a repeat unit for polymer. Which monomer would produce this polymer? Now I am writing the possible monomers. Even this one also gives this polymer. So only one choice is correct here, and that is A. Thanks for watching. Press like and share my videos, give comments. For more videos, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon.